Welcome to AI&J, the channel where we try to boost your workflow development into hyperdrive using AI. And today, I'm going to show you how to build a full stack application using Visual Studio and Cursor. The project that we are building today is an AI-powered job application that will help us customize our CVs and cover letters for any jobs that we want to search for, so we don't have to manually edit our CVs. So let's just get straight into it. I'll show you how to start it up. So the first you want to do is open up your Visual Studios and create a new solution template. And from the project templates, you choose to create an ASP.NET Core Web API. You click on Next. Once you come to the framework, choose .NET 8, which is the latest LTS version. Then you click on Create. Now that our project has been created, the first thing I like to do is initialize a Git repository straight for it before we even do any changes. And you can do that by going to the top of the menu, click on Git. On the drop-down menu, choose Create a Git repository. Once the dialog pops up, everything is already pre-filled out for you. You can choose to make it private, public, or internal. But for now, we're going to make it private. You click on Create and Push. What we do next is clean up a little bit of the folder and file structure, like get rid of this weather forecast file that we don't really need. Delete that, and we go to the controllers map and get rid of the controller inside there, since we will not be needing it either. So get rid of that. I'm now going to implement a clean architecture. That means that we are going to add 4 distinct layers, and each layer will have specific responsibilities. As you can see, we have our presentation layer, which is the API. Inside there, we will have all the controllers, the endpoints, and our middleware. The application layer will have all our services, DTOs, validators, and auto mappings. The core layer will have our entities, interfaces, and business logic. Our infrastructure layer will have all the data access and external services. The key benefits is it gives us separation of concerns. So each layer has distinct responsibilities. The second one is it has dependency inversion. So our core domain does not depend on our infrastructure. It's easy to unit test our business logic. And last but not least, it's maintainable. So if any changes happen in one layer, like the core layer, it will not affect the others. So with that said, let's just go ahead and show you how to create the first project. What you do is you right click and you go down to add a new project, and you choose class library from the templates. We'll name this one prosync.core. Click next, create, get rid of the class files that come with it. And we have to do that manually for each library. So we name this one prosync.application. Perfect. Click next, create. Do the same here, get rid of the class files. And now we're going to add our last one, which is the infrastructure. Prosync.infrastructure. Click next, create, get rid of the class file. Great. Next thing that we need to do is add in our project overview. You right click, add new item. We name this project overview.md. I already have my project plans and requirements in my notepad. I'll just copy and paste that into Visual Studio. Expand that a little bit, and now we go on to the next one. We'll add our backend rules for our cursor. Add a new item, right click, and we'll name this one server rules.md. And we'll paste that in there too. We can fix a little bit. The formatting is off, so let me just fix that. Now we're going to add the last one, which is our client rules, which is for the front end. All of these rules basically is just how our AI assistant in Cursor is going to behave when it executes the code for us and generates the files. Save and commit it and push it to our repository. so that nothing gets lost. If we want to verify, we go on our GitHub, go down to the latest commits. Let's have a look. And if we click on it, we can see we have our backend rules, our project overview and requirements, and our client rules. Perfect. Now that we have this, we're gonna go open up our cursor, and this is where all the magic happens, because all of the code will get generated straight from here. So we'll go open up the directory where we saved our project. There we go. Click choose folder. Perfect. And now when we are inside cursor, I have my prompts ready, my code generated prompts. I will paste in and let cursor know that our project, first of all, is set up in this way. 1 second, I'm just going to copy and paste, and we tell it our project is set up with, and we paste in the project setup, and then we tell it to make sure we have project references and include all the entity framework core and packages that are needed. And we'll also tell it to create our entities. So the entities that we will create is user entity, our base CV entity, our base cover letter, our job application, and customized document entity, which will store all of our AI generated customized specific documents. So we'll go ahead and paste that in, and we'll also give it a context. Make sure that it follows our server rules, and we click generate. And me personally, what I like to do, I like to read through a little bit of the thought process and see if it's going to actually execute the prompt I asked it for. So I'm just going to read through it quickly. Yep, looks good. Perfect. It's going to do exactly what I required it to do. That's great. So now you can see it's telling me set up all of the project references, and it's going to start installing all of the packages. Now it's going to create the directory structure and the domain entities in our core project. So it's going to set up the directories, which means all of the folders that is going to be needed. It's going to create for us all of the domain entities, and it's going to start with our enums, which is the application status and document type. Perfect. We accept that file. We're going to review next one, application status. Perfect. Now it's going to create our entities, which you can see has already started to our base entity. Great. It will only have 3 properties. Perfect. We review the next one, which will be application user. And application user is a very important entity. All right, and we have to make sure that it follows exactly the setup that we wanted. That's why it's so important that you have your plans and project requirements ready before you start code generating. Perfect. Click on accept and go on the next one, base CV. Let's see if it got all of the properties that we required it for, which it does. This is very good. Accept file. We go on the next one to see the base cover letter. It seems great. It looks good. The job application entity. Yep. So at least is going to add to it our domain constants after all of these. So now it's going to create some custom domain exceptions. This usually happens when you can see the note, it stops the agent after 25 agent calls, but you can just click on resume and it will continue. We'll go ahead and check the validation constants that it created for us. Perfect. We're going to check the validation later when we test our endpoints on Swagger. Perfect. We have our in exceptions. Perfect. We have our not found exceptions. Great. Moving on to the next one. Let's see what's got going on here. Work experience. All right, so now it's continuing with the value objects, which is the skills, education, work experience, and relevant fields for our CV. Build it to see if everything is correct. So make sure that it compiles correctly, which it has. Perfect. And it took us 1.5 seconds to complete it. So no errors. We're gonna go ahead now. Is going to create for us now. The next one are DB context in our infrastructure project. So now our core is completed. We have all of our domain entities, the core of our application, which is perfect. We can close it down and open up our infrastructure. Have a look inside data first. Well, I think it's going to start creating our application DB context first, not the configurations. Seems like we have our application DB context. It will be inheriting from application user, which is great. We have all of our domain entities for DB sets, perfect. Our on model creating all of these red lines. It means it's not been created yet. That's why you're going to see these errors. But just have patience. It's going to complete the job for you. Now we got our configurations, creating configurations in a different folder than our DB context so that it keeps the code clean, so it doesn't become hundreds of lines of code in our DB context. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Seems like we're creating our last configuration. So now that all of the configuration files have been created, we are going to build it again just to have a look if everything is as it should be and no errors. Okay, looks like we succeeded, but we succeeded with a couple of warnings. So let it look through the code and see if there's any depreciated syntax inside. Looks like it's done, and now it's going to create a summary to show all of the things that he has done so far. It has worked. I couldn't show you guys some of the code that was generated for our next implementation because the screen recording got corrupted, but I'll just walk you through the changes that we made into the GitHub. And as you can see, we implemented our authentication system and our business logic services. And the main points that we did was added our JWT bearer authentication with refresh tokens. We created our auth controller, authentication controller with register, login, refresh endpoints. We also implemented document ownership, authorization policies, document service, job application service, and sync service is added. We also added our AI-powered document synchronization. For now, it's a mock implementation, but we will change it as we go along later down the line. It also included our DTOs. We also have our interfaces, validators. I think has been created the DB with the table sets, and this one is the user database. It's already been seeded with information so that we can test our endpoints. So now if we run the application and test our endpoints on Swagger, let it load, and Swagger comes up. As you can see, this is our Swagger documentation. This way we come to test our endpoints to see if it actually works. We have our register and we test our login first, and password should be test pass 123 with exclamation mark. Click execute to see if it's good, and we get our 200 code response, which means it's working. And inside here includes our token and our refresh token. Copy our token, sorry, and go down to test our endpoint for the tokens. Click try it out. We paste in our token. Sorry, I messed up a little bit on the format over here. Get rid of that. Press V, Control V. Now we copy the refresh, execute. Perfect, we get 200 response. It's working. It has our token, it comes with our refresh token, and inside there we have our claims principles. So everything is going great. Next thing we're going to check, let's just close these up quickly. Next thing we can check registering a user, and we click on try it out, come down here, and this is where we're going to test to see if our validations actually work. I'm going to first try to AI&J at prosync.com. Let's see if that works first. Create a password. We'll just use the same password as we have on everything here. We'll paste that in. First name AI, second name JJ. Click execute. we get 400 error, meaning it's not working. And why? We can see the passwords and confirmed passwords do not match. Let's have a look. Yep, I forgot the exclamation mark. Okay, let's just fix that. Click execute. Still, we have 400. Okay, the user registration failed. The email is invalid. It can only contain letters and digits. So that is great. That means our validation is actually working. And we'll just write Jane Smith here. Click on execute, and finally it actually works. So we can double check if we go down to our Visual Studio, our database, to see if we update it, refresh, and you can see our latest insert here, our AI&J and James Smith as a username. We have successfully built a solid foundation for ProSync with clean, maintainable architecture, robust authentication system, comprehensive data model. Our RESTful API comes with proper documentation and foundation for our AI-powered features. So this foundation provides everything we need to build the complete platform. And I'll try to demonstrate professional .NET development practices and modern architectural patterns. The next step is creating our front-end client with Next.js and coming up with a really clean and fresh design to get all of this put together. So thank you for watching, and if you liked what you saw, just hit that like and subscribe button,